Then all the congregation of the children of Israel set out on their journey from the wilderness of Sin, according to the commandment of the Lord, and camped in Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people contended with Moses.
Give us water that we may drink.
Why do you contend with me? Why do you tempt the Lord?
And the people thirsted there for water. And the people complained against Moses.
Why is it you have brought us up out of Egypt? To kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?
So Moses cried out to the Lord.
What shall I do with this people? They are almost ready to stone me.
Go on before the people, and take with you some of the elders of Israel. Also, take in your hand your rod, with which you struck the river, and go. Behold, I will stand before you there, on the rock in Horeb. And you shall strike the rock, and water will come out of it, that the people may drink.
And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. So he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the contention.
This is crazy. I always thought that God told Moses to go and, I don't know, tap it or like, I don't know, speak to the rock or something. I don't know. But the reason why he struck the rock was he got mad and struck the rock. And God didn't want him to actually strike the rock. That's what I've always thought. I don't know where I got that from. What?
So he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the contention of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? Now Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said to Joshua,
Choose us some men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand.
So Joshua did as Moses said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill.
Hur?
And so it was, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed.
Imagine
But
that.
Moses' hands became heavy.
Up, down.
So they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. So Joshua...
They just noticed that? Like he was stretching, and then he noticed that they were all winning. Then he put his hand down, they were losing. How did they notice that? The way it's written here, it's like they just happened to find out that that was a thing, and that was happening. And so they're like, oh, we got to keep his arms up.
defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses,
Write this for a memorial in the book, and recount it in the hearing of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
And Moses built an altar and called its name, The Lord is my banner.
Why?
Moses built an
Write this for a memorial in the book and recount it in the hearing of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Why, what did Amalek do?
May drink.
Yeah, what did Amalek do? What does it say? 17. The people of Amalek were descendants of Esau, the Edomites. Their attack on Israel was unprovoked. Okay. The Israelites and the Lord regarded this attack as particularly heinous. This is the first mention of Joshua. Okay, yeah. Why was it particularly heinous? Let's look it up. Amalek. I'm curious. Were there the Amalekites? I'm curious. Okay. Okay, see, the reason why I am looking this up is because there is this theory. Okay, you know in the Bible where, God says, go, I forgot who he told them to kill. To kill all life, women and children, right? I mean, women and children, they're innocent, right? But why kill them all? Like, go there, kill them all, leave none alive. Why would God tell them? God tell the children of Israel to do something like that? Right, we're gonna get to that. And there's a theory that, okay, as we talked about in Genesis 6, right? Remember that the sons of God and daughters of men, and the sons of God were angels, right? That's one theory, that the sons of God were actually angels. And if they created this mixed breed, right, of angels, half humans, right, and that's something God didn't want because he was very against the mixing of different kinds, right, and it was a result of the sins of the angels, right, which is why God sent the flood to destroy their offspring, right. I'm not saying this is fact, right? This is just a theory, right? As far as I know, and so that's why God later on in Exodus said, kill the women, kill the children, leave none alive, because he's trying to wipe out that bloodline. So in the way God is describing here, killing the Amalekites, I don't know, it seemed sort of odd why he had like this sort of vendetta against them, right? Because what was he saying? He said, the Lord, no. Because the Lord has sworn, the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay, wait, we didn't even get there yet. I don't know, something about, I have it here. And I will utterly blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. That's kind of pretty serious, right? So let's see this. The book of 1 Samuel notes the people identified as Amalekites lived in Shur or Seir. Let me make this bigger. Since the ancient times. Translation, before the flood. Okay, why is that translated to before the flood? I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe they specified before the flood. Ancient times do not refer to the time of Abraham. The terms ancient times, old, former times, long ago, and before our time were always understood as the pre-flood epoch. Can you guys verify that down in the comment section? Let me know if you guys know anything about that. The understanding is underscored in its application in Sirach, Baruch, Wisdom, Deuteronomy, Psalms, Proverbs, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Daniel, 1 Peter, and 2 Peter were ancient and always refer to the time of Noah before the flood. All right, that's a good track record right there in terms of the referencing the ancient as pre-flood epoch. Okay. This then is that a typo? This then suggests Amalekites were in existence as a race of giants in the epoch of antediluvian Nephilim. In other words, they were Nephilim both before and after the flood. How? just because they were from a time before the flood, how are they Nephilim? It could be a possibility, is what you're saying, because that bloodline existed before the flood. And okay, did all of humanity enter the ark? Like, were Noah and his family the only people who didn't have their blood mixed on earth? And in that sense, if you can tie their family, their bloodline back to the pre-flood era and not to Noah, I guess I can see this conclusion being drawn. But the way it's presented here, it seems like kind of a stretch. Let me know what you guys think.
And Moses built an altar and called its name, "The Lord is my banner." For he said,
Because the Lord has sworn. The Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Chapter 18.
And Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back with her 2 sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom. For Moses said,
I have been a stranger in a foreign land.
And the name of the other was Eleazar. For he said, The God of my father was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of God. Now he had said to Moses,
I, your father-in-law, Jethro, am coming to you, with your wife, and her 2 sons with her.
So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed down, and kissed him. And they asked each other about their well-being, and they went into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them on the way, and how the Lord had delivered them. Then Jethro rejoiced for all the good which the Lord had done for Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said,
Blessed be the Lord, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods, for in the very thing in which they behaved proudly, he was above them.
Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and other sacrifices to offer to God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. And so it was, on the next day, that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood before Moses from morning until evening. So when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did for the people, he said,
What is this thing that you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit, and all the people stand before you from morning until evening?
Because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a difficulty, they come to me, and I judge between one and another. And I make known the statutes of God and his laws.
The thing that you do is not good. Both you and these people who are with you will surely wear yourselves out. For this thing is too much for you. You are not able to perform it by yourself. Listen now to my voice. I will give you counsel, and God will be with you. Stand before God for the people, so that you may bring the difficulties to God. And you shall teach them the statutes and the laws, and show them the way in which they must walk, and the work they must do. Moreover, you shall select from all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10.
Where did we see this before? Did Abraham do this? Or Jacob? Or something? Like, this is so familiar. Like, we saw someone else do this. Like, people were coming to him and there was too much, and then someone suggested to do this exact same thing. Have groups, and there were different rulers. I think, it was like, I don't know. It was someone in Genesis. I can't remember.
And let them judge the people at all times. Then it will be that every great matter they shall bring to you, but every small matter they themselves shall judge. So it will be easier for you, for they will bear the burden with you. If you do this thing, and God so commands you, then you will be able to endure, and all this people will also go to their place in peace.
So Moses heeded the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel,
Or
and made them
did I
heads
see
over the
this
people,
happening somewhere else? I don't know.
rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. So they judged the people at all times. The hard cases they brought to Moses, but they judged every small case themselves.
I might have seen
Then
this.
Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way to his own land.
I think I saw it in there's this Christian Bible-based anime called In the Beginning, the animated series,
In the 3rd month,
and it's on YouTube. I should put a link to it. Some guy uploaded it. It's honestly probably the most biblically accurate Bible show I've seen. Like, it goes into some detail, you know. It's pretty cool.
after the children
cool
of Israel
opening,
had
too.
gone out of the land of Egypt, on the same day they came to the wilderness of Sinai, for they had departed from Rephidim, had come to the wilderness of Sinai, and camped in the wilderness. So Israel camped there
I'll put a link to
before
that
the
in the
mountain.
description for you guys to check out.
And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain.
Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you to myself. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a special treasure to me, above all people. For all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel.
So Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before them all these words which the Lord commanded him. Then all the people answered together,
All that the Lord has spoken, we will do.
Do you think it says, now therefore I will indeed obey, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, that you shall be a special treasure to me above all people. Do you think that is exclusive for the children of Israel, or for people who obey his voice and keep his covenant? Right? Because, I mean, we were all created by God. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously it has to be, if you obey his voice and keep his commandment, not necessarily the children of Israel only. Right? It has to be, because we all have relationships. We can all have a relationship with God.
So Moses brought back the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses,
Behold, I come to you in the thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever.
Because Jesus loved the Gentile just as much as the Jew, right? See, that's the importance of us reading Mark before we jumped into Genesis, because we have a different perspective now, right? We have that big picture perspective. So we can look at things a little bit differently. We can look at things in the way God would look at things, because we had a more personable perspective, because we got to know him in reading Mark.
So Moses told the words of the people to the Lord. Then the Lord said to Moses,
Go to the people, and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and let them be ready for the third day. For on the third day the Lord will come down upon Mount Sinai, in the sight of all the people. You shall set...
Does anyone know why God loves the number 3? And why 3, 7, and 12 are like such prominent numbers in the Bible? Like, why does God love those numbers? Does anybody know? Let me know.
You shall set bounds for the people all around, saying, Take heed to yourselves that you do not go up to the mountain, or touch its base. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely be put to death. Not a hand shall touch him, but he shall surely be stoned, or shot with an arrow. Whether man or beast, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they shall come near the mountain.
So Moses went down from the mountain to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said to the people,
Be ready for the third day. Do not come near your wives.
Then it came to pass on the third day, in the morning, that there were thunderings and lightnings, and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of the trumpet was very loud, so that all the people who were in the camp trembled. And Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was completely in smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire. Its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. And when the blast of the trumpet sounded long and became louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by voice. Then the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain. And the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And the Lord said to Moses,
Go down and warn the people, lest they break through to gaze at the Lord, and many of them perish. Also let the priests who come near the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them.
But Moses said to the Lord,
The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, Set bounds around the mountain, and consecrate it.
Then the Lord said to him,
Away, get down, and then come up, you and Aaron with you. But do not let the priest and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them.
So Moses went down to the people and spoke to them.
Let me see what this Bible has to say regarding this, because it's kind of interesting. 19. Yeah, it's not saying anything. But I never heard that up until now. So all the people, so God came down on the mountain, right? And there was like fire and smoke and all that stuff. And then God called Moses to go up, and then God told him to go down. And then Moses went down and to bring Aaron to come back up.
And God spoke all these words.
I am the Lord your God.
Right?
Who-
Aaron had to come back up, right? Get down and then come up, you and Aaron with you. Yeah.
And God spoke all these words.
I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them. For
You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. That would be remember they believed in the great deep. Right? That would be this, right? The great deep, the water under the earth.
the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me.
I'm a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers. What does that mean? 25. God is a jealous God. In other words, he has a zeal for the truth that he alone is God, and he is jealous of any rivals. The Hebrew verb translated visiting can mean coming in an act of mercy or coming in divine judgment. The third and fourth, right? It said third and fourth generations of those who hate me. Idolatry would bring judgment that would affect the idolater's descendants. Okay. So if you took another god besides God, right, that would affect, right, the third and fourth generations.
Generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's.
Now all the people witnessed the thunderings, the lightning flashes, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they trembled and stood afar off. Then they said to Moses,
You speak with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.
And Moses said to the people,
Do not fear, for God.
Time out.
Moses,
You speak with us.
Time out. So was God saying all of this to like I know Moses and Aaron were up on the mountain, but could everybody hear it? Or was he just speaking to Moses and Aaron? Now all the people witnessed the thunderings and the lightnings and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, and when the people saw it, they trembled. So maybe they didn't hear the 10 Commandments, and just the...
You speak with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die.
and Moses said to the people,
Do not fear, for God has come to test you, and that his fear may be before you, so that you may not sin.
So the people stood afar off. But Moses drew near the thick darkness where God was. Then the Lord said to Moses,
Thus you shall say to the children of Israel.
And was
You
he like
have
yelling
seen
from
that
the
I
top
have
of the
talked
mountain
with
or
you
what?
from heaven. You shall not make anything to be with me. Gods of silver or gods of gold you shall not make for yourselves. An altar of earth you shall make for me, and you shall sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen. In every
You shall not make anything to be with me, gods of silver or gods of gold. You shall not make for yourselves. An altar of earth you shall make for me. Right, but wasn't the altar of earth, I'm guessing that is the Ark of the Covenant, but that was made of gold, right? Well, I guess gold is from the earth.
every place where I record my name, I will come to you, and I will bless you. And if you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hewn stone. For if you use your tool on it, you have profaned it. Nor shall you go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed on it.
What altar is that? I guess we'll find out what altar. Let's see what this Bible says. Well, let's see what this thick darkness. God remained in thick darkness, a symbol of his elusive presence. Only Moses could come near. Okay. Israel was forbidden to make any altar more elaborate than an altar of earth. These individual altars would be used only until the selection of the central place for the worship of God, later in Jerusalem. Okay, see Exodus 24:4, for example, of an altar built by Moses at Mount Sinai. Okay, so we'll get to that. But I'm sort of confused, right? God and Aaron. Moses and Aaron went up to Mount Sinai, right? And then how did Moses talk to the children of Israel? They're up on the mountain. Now all the people witnessed the thunderings, blah, blah, blah. And they said to Moses, you speak with us. Did Moses come back down? Right? Moses was up there. God talked to him. And God said, go down and get Aaron. So he went down and got Aaron and went back up. Right? And then God told them to 10 Commandments. And then now here it's saying, then they said to Moses, you speak with us and we will hear it. but let not God speak with us lest we die. How are they speaking to Moses if Moses is on top of the mountain? So did he come down? And then, okay, let's say he came down, right? And then, where is it? Moses drew near the thick darkness where God was. So, was that thick darkness at the base of the mountain too? I don't know. If someone can clarify what was happening there, that would be really nice. I don't see where... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Yeah, but that's it for today. Chapter 20, we finished that, the 10 Commandments. Tomorrow we're going to get into 21. Yeah, where was Moses? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm just curious. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And I will see you guys tomorrow for chapter 21. Take care.